Hello, how's it going? Welcome back to some more F1 Manager 2024 and another part of the Lotus Road to Glory career mode. Today we are back with the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. Certainly looking forward to it. If we look at last year's result at this circuit, we did pretty well last year, I believe. Was it even our first points? Last year, yeah, it just doesn't show last year's data anymore, and that's a real annoyance. Some of the features have been taken out of this game, and I really despise that when it's such an easy one like that. But last time out, of course, we had a great time in Miami. Final 3 laps. After the red flag, we absolutely bossed it with Daniel Ricciardo. He got up to 8th place in the end before there was a final lap red flag. But we managed to get into the points and really helping our championship position. 13 points so far this season. And more to come, I would imagine. Leave a like if you're enjoying and all of that good stuff. And without further ado, let's get ourselves moving forward. Of course, we have got a front wing due to come through and into manufacturing. That is the hope anyway. Let's have a little look at our manufacturing slots. So yeah, 3 days time we should be able to put the front wing in for manufacturing. We've got the sponsor plan that we need to sort out as well. No, I'm not going to give £1 million over to that. We just don't have the money for that, I'm afraid. At this stage. Okay, some sponsor money came through, which is nice. We can put in our new sponsor stuff. Sponsor event there. Let's go for the head of aero fuel advert. That's fine by me. Right. One more day forward. Nicely done. So side pods are through the door, which is great. We can now put the front wing through. And we'll get 4 of them made. Yeah, no point rushing that. We'll have 1 ready for the weekend, which is good. Let's have a little gander at the cost cap. So still got 77 million remaining. Obviously, we need to do some research at some point. I need to think about our emergency purchases as well. Scouting team's still broken. Yeah, let's pop on the side pods onto both cars. So new side pods on the car. And we can have both underfloors on the car as well. So it should be a good weekend in terms of our performance, you would think. Still seem to think we're only 13th and 14th. I almost don't believe that. Then you look at that and think, well, maybe we are. There's Ferrari, they're looking pretty decent now. McLaren are still decent. Red Bull are dominant. Mercedes are improving all the time. Alpine are still down at the bottom. Williams as well. Haas are doing better in certain aspects, as are RB. Sauber have definitely improved their car, and Aston Martin are looking good as well. Change it to car 2, there you go. We've got the lightest car of the lot, at least. Let's push it forward. And hopefully this front wing will be a good one. Let's see anyway. Could set off another design as well. I'm going to change it to the the new front wing. And I think the new front wing is going to be quite good for us. Yeah, I definitely think our car's a decent contender. Yeah, that front wing has helped, certainly in the low speed corners. Yeah, okay. So Daniel Ricciardo, I think, should be in the points again. But we're going to start our first research project. Now, we're obviously expecting massive changes going ahead to next season. We're going to put in the rest of our ATR stuff for next season, and we're just going to go for a completely balanced approach with it all. Stick 4 people on it, although yeah, we can stick 3 people on it, and we'll put an extra person on the underfloor. 2 people on the underfloor. Yeah, there you go. So that'll be now done in 15 days. Or is it actually worth doing this? And then putting that many people on the rear wing, and then all of it is pretty much done at the same time, and the rear wing is short to manufacture, so maybe that makes more sense. Okay. Right, we're just gonna check out everything here. I think everything is on the car that we want. Still got $1 million to spend. We're gonna save a little bit of money up because we think we might be getting rid of Mick Schumacher in the coming episodes. Yeah, you know, it's really going to be down to whether we can afford them. Why is that not worked? There you go. Right, so Perez is obviously a free agent. That could be a possibility as a very short-term option. You know what I mean? If you go into proposed contract, we've not really got any idea what he would do. Let's see if we... Let's just see, where would we need to be at to get Sergio Perez? I mean, surely not. Surely not. Surely we wouldn't need that many. You know, what if we went 8 million, for instance? Reduce that right down. Give him a sign-in bonus. Yeah, just not interested, is he? But yeah, I think it's the length of contract as well, possibly. But yeah, he's just not that interested in joining us, which is fair enough. Whereas if I went for Stoffel Van Dorn and went into proposed contract, I bet you we could get up there a lot quicker. Yeah, you see? 5 million it would take him. Which is still a lot for Stoffel Van Dorn. So yeah, I'm not sure we're going to be able to go for free agents. Now, what we could do is go for somebody like Antonelli. We know, well, he's not actually interested because he's occupied at the weekend, as are the rest of them. But, you know, somebody like Behrman is definitely a possibility. We'll have to see as we go forward, won't we? But let's get ourselves into the race weekend then. We'll stop dilly-dallying. Ricardo is going to have the 14th 10th or 10th best car, but we're going to give him a performance target of 14th for Mick Schumacher. Let's go 17th. It's not worth the £100,000 with the risk of losing. I think he will finish 17th no matter what. But yeah, let's get into the weekend.
Welcome along to Imola. After returning to the Formula One calendar in 2020, Imola is now home to the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. This historic track's original outline might remain, but updates to the circuit ensure that racing here feels just as exciting in modern times.
Red Bull have outscored their rivals to be at the top of the constructors table right now. But all the teams are fighting hard and there's everything to play for.
Let's get this underway.
So quite nice to not have a sprint weekend this weekend. So I'll go into practice and I'll see you guys in qualifying.
We're moving on now to the all-important qualifying session.
Remember, we lose the slowest 5 drivers at the end of Q1, another 5 at the end of Q2, and Q3 will set the top 10 positions.
Given what we've seen of late, what do you think of Kevin Magnussen there, Karun?
The main thing on my mind was their speed in practice. They just weren't that fast. But was that down to the driver, the car, the team experimenting? We don't know, and we'll just have to see how they fare in qualifying.
And it's almost time for qualifying. You won't want to miss that.
Okie dokie then, qualifying time here in Imola. It's not been a great set of practice results, really. Got to be honest, we're struggling a little bit. We put Jack Doohan in practice. Unfortunately for him, he damaged Mick's car, and we've had to go back to the old chassis for Mick Schumacher, so that's a real shame for him. But Jack Doohan is more on the pace of Daniel Ricciardo in practice than Mick Schumacher is, so maybe Jack Doohan is the one that we want to look at for replacing Mick.
Let's show the green light.
Certainly for the rest of this season, and you know, maybe we give him FP1s and we see how they get on. Well, that could be the way we do it. Very good run there. No traffic at all.
Remember, respect the delta.
And it's a 1:13.3 for Daniel Ricciardo. We'll see how that one gets on. I have a feeling it's going to take a little bit more than that to get us definitely through. Although we are ahead of Lewis Hamilton there with Daniel Ricciardo, so that is a very good lap from him. And Mick Schumacher's up in 7th as well, above Yuki Tsunoda, so yeah, not too bad that first run from both drivers, and maybe, just maybe, we'll get both drivers through to Q2. It's not been as certain recently. Gonna send them both out again. Of course, Mick Schumacher running an old chassis. You know, we're not expecting the world from him. Obviously, Ricciardo's got the new front wing on as well. So Ricciardo has got a big advantage this weekend. So he should be 3/10 ahead of Mick Schumacher at the very least. Schumacher goes slower in that first sector, so that's interesting. Middle sector is possibly where we'll find a little bit more. Nothing. So yeah, it was that first run that's got us through in 7th and 11th as it currently stands. Mick Schumacher comes up to the line. No improvement for him. No improvement for Daniel Ricciardo either. And well, that is it. That is the end of Q1, and it is 7th and 11th for our boys there. And Daniel Ricciardo continuing his very good form. Both drivers through into Q2. Right, brand new tyres once again. at the start of Q2.
That's great.
And we'll see what we can pull off here. Hopefully, again, another lap of little or no traffic. That would be very nice. There's 3 cars ahead that are quite neatly spaced. And there could be a bit of a problem here for Mick. Well, that's okay. That's not bad. First couple of sectors seem fairly competitive here. It was a 13.3 that Daniel did in Q1. Mick Schumacher comes up to the line. It's in the 14s. It's not a great lap there, and it's a 13.6. So, yeah, there is time to be found on a second run here. But again, Norris behind Daniel Ricciardo. And we don't have loads of tyres here, so we'll be a bit careful. I'm going to send Mick out now while it's very quiet. I'm going to leave Daniel till the end of the session. So Schumacher improves in that first sector, and it's a decent first sector as well. 0.2 quicker he's managed there. Coming through this middle sector now, and it's better again. So this is looking a lot better for Mick Schumacher. What can he manage as he comes round the final corner? This is looking like his best lap so far. It's in the 13s, 13.5. In fact, puts him above his teammate,
That was a good lap.
Daniel Ricciardo. So definitely time to find.
Now.
And we'll send out Daniel Ricciardo very, very shortly. I'm going to send him now because it looks pretty clear. Yeah, that could be genius. Let's see, can we get Daniel Ricciardo through to Q3, or will Mick Schumacher outqualify his teammate with the old spec car? Big questions to be asked here. Will Mick Schumacher get through? Obviously, you'd expect Charles Leclerc and Nico Hülkenberg, George Russell to probably go above Mick Schumacher, but, well, not as good. First sector from Daniel Ricciardo. Middle sector is matching Mick. Oh no, he's had to slow down. Right, well, we're going to just have to keep going here. We'll have to keep going and hope that Daniel Ricciardo can pull it out here. He's not going to have a lot of ERS to help him out here. Let's look through that first sector. It's green again. Might be okay. Down to neutral here. Russell's already over the line. It's Hülkenberg that we have to watch, really. I think Mick Schumacher's going to be through here. It's not a great middle sector from
You can be aggressive.
Daniel.
Overtake his edge. Okay.
Couple of tenths down. He is going to run out of ERS here. And he's going to come up to the line. Daniel Ricciardo then. Can he improve?
Okay, understood.
No, he can't. Daniel Ricciardo is under a lot of pressure here. He's run out of fuel as well. I think he's going to be okay. He's going to be fine. Yes, 8th and 10th. I'm hoping that Ricciardo will be allowed to compete in Q3. Yes, he will. Obviously, that wouldn't have happened in real life, but Fair play to Daniel Ricciardo and Mick Schumacher, both getting through. And we do unlock that extra set of soft tyres. We're going to save one set for tomorrow, I think. Let's just have a little look at the expected strategies. We're thinking it might be a one-stop. But we do have 2 sets of mediums as well that we can be utilising tomorrow. So, yeah, we will see whether we're able to produce anything in final qualifying here. Sent them both out there. Ricciardo should hopefully get a lovely tow from his teammate. Let's see, it's an okay first sector. It's not brilliant though. But now, no traffic left. It's all on them. 25-4. Schumacher quicker in that middle sector than his teammate. Here comes Daniel Ricciardo then, up to the line. Can he go above Mick Schumacher? Yes, he can, just about, but it's a poor lap. A 14-0. Hopefully we're out there and holding everybody up.
Yep, understood.
Needs to be a hell of a lot better. We're ahead of Zhou and Albon, so 7th and 8th at present. We can, and hopefully will do so much better than that. People are heading out now. And there they go. Out onto the track. Shouldn't be any trouble with traffic, although Alonso's coming through. He's going to disrupt the start of Schumacher's lap, but Ricciardo's okay. And we're doing it on scrub tyres. Can Daniel Ricciardo find improvement? No, he can't. 23.3 in that first sector, 23.3 for Mick Schumacher. It's the middle sector where Ricciardo particularly lost out. Albon's gone P6. Ricciardo puts in a 25.1 mid. And it's a 25.1 for Schumacher as well. Schumacher's looking good here. And it's Daniel Ricciardo who heads up to the line then. And it's a 13.5. It's not enough to improve. What about Schumacher? 13.5 as well. And he's just 0.03 of a second off his teammate, Daniel Ricciardo. But it's 9th and 10th for the boys. And it's Max Verstappen, surprise, surprise, who is on pole position once again.
Not long until we get going here in Italy, with 63 laps of hard-fought motor racing.
Imola can really reward consistency, as Nigel Mansell showed here in 1992 when he became the first driver to ever win the opening 5 Grand Prix of a season.
Imola has no fewer than 4 chicanes, with the Variantes putting a slow-speed corner into every sector around this historic circuit. It's a high downforce track with sharp turns breaking up the straights. The excitement is building, there's electricity in the air, but there's no surprise in that. It's race day.
Well, we need to think about strategy here. One stop is possible. 2 stop is apparently slower. But I almost don't believe that. You know, I know it is a long pit lane, but having them tyres at the end, I think, is going to be crucial. So we are going to risk it with Daniel Ricciardo. We're going to go for a 2-stop strategy. I'm going to reduce the fuel by a lap as well. Now, with Mick Schumacher, I'm not sure whether the reducing all of the fuel actually made too much difference. But we'll give it a go. We'll give it a go. Why not? And we'll push him and see if he can somehow stay in the points on that one-stop strategy. So here we go then. Into the race we go.
Final checks are being carried out by the teams, and it won't be long until we get this race underway. Mick Schumacher, a composed figure, approaching this one.
Starting P10 puts them in the right place to get some points, but there's still a lot to do.
But there's no more time left. We've got a race on our hands.
Here we go then.
The crowd are on their feet in anticipation of this. The Emilia Romagna
Can we score points once again?
And it's
Lights out, away we go.
Away we go.
Here in Imola. It's a decent start off the grade 4, Daniel Ricciardo.
What do we have to do?
And he's going to have a look at Charles Leclerc into turn 1. And he manages to get through. So Daniel Ricciardo up to P8. He needs to get past the Aston Martin and the Mercedes cars pretty quickly if he wants to be featuring heavily in this race. And look at that, Mick Schumacher has managed to get up into 9th as well. So he's jumped Charles Leclerc there, which is really good. There goes Daniel Ricciardo down the inside now of the Mercedes of Albon. And they're still side by side, but lovely from Daniel Ricciardo, and he is up into 7th position. He is in some beautiful form at the moment, and now he is closing in on Zhou Guanyu, and here he comes with the DRS enabled this lap. He should be able to get past him if he stays with him. Now Schumacher up into 8th. It's a good start for Mick, and well, let's see if he is going to be able to keep that going. Obviously the AI, surely they're going to be looking after their tyres today, because a one-stopper is apparently the quickest way to do it. Daniel Ricciardo goes down the inside and he is through, and now up into 6th position, and he's got Lewis Hamilton in his sights, and he's going to have DRS here, and Daniel Ricciardo is having a look at Lewis Hamilton now. Would love to stay with Lewis throughout the next few laps. Mick Schumacher, meanwhile, he is chasing after Zhou Guanyu, doing a great job of that. And will he be able to stay with Zhou? That's the big question here. Ricciardo's dropped off the back of Hamilton. As soon as we stop pushing hard on the tyres, we lose out to the AI, and it happens every race. Yeah, that was a disappointing one there, because we lost DRS to Zhou. That was kind of unnecessary. Now, most people are on the medium tyres. Ricciardo, one of the only out there to start on the softs, along with Carlos Sainz. So it's a different strategy for us today with Daniel. And, well, there goes Albon through as well. So that initial pace has dropped off now. Difference is this time we will have DRS on Albon. That is huge to be able to catch him. And then Mick Schumacher, yeah, definitely losing out. And I think it's because he's obviously conserving his fuel, and yeah, I'm just not sure that is actually a beneficial way to go. But we're giving it a crack. I am trying to put in some of your guys' suggestions all the time, and that was one of them, and it was definitely an interesting one to put in there, but hasn't seemed to have worked out for Mick Schumacher. so far. Beautiful down the inside there of Daniel Ricciardo, and he is through on Zhou Guanyu once again. Looks like the AI have leveled out a little bit in terms of what their levels of pushing is. And now we're right behind Alexander Albon here. We should have DRS. And that just keeps us in touch, which is nice. Schumacher, meanwhile, still in touch with Yuki Tsunoda. Would love to get past him fairly soon. That doesn't manage it. So, time to just zoom the game forward a little bit. Again, though, we've got a chance on Albon. DRS enabled. And this time, he might have a little crack. No, so another lap will pass. There goes Schumacher past Tsunoda. Nice to see. And for once, the AI looking after their tyres. Going along very nicely. Daniel still at DRS. He's got Russell now directly behind him. Different kettle of fish to Zhou Guanyu. Yeah, Mick's lost out to Tsunoda now. So let's have a little look. When is Daniel coming in? He's going to be coming in about lap 18. As I say, it's going to be late in this race where the benefits are truly found. Hülkenberg has managed to get past Ricciardo now as well. Could be a bit problematic. Because we've still got Zhou Guanyu behind us. We've got Leclerc behind him. It's quite nice being in this little DRS train. Just allows us to back off a little bit and not worry too much about tyres and all of that.
Okay.
Speaking of which,
Understood.
pit window has opened, so Ricciardo now has to absolutely stay with these boys. Needs to be within a second. I'd suggest as soon as he stops being within a second, then that is where we need to pull him into the pits. And it might be now. Using the ERS to try and stop the delta, but yeah, it didn't quite work out there. So I think it's going to be this lap that we're going to come in onto the medium tyres then. For Daniel Ricciardo. Mick Schumacher is the one battling out there with Esteban Ocon, and here we come then with Daniel Ricciardo. It's obviously a very long pit lane. Need a slick stop, and that's what we got, 2.4. Should bring him out just behind this little group of Saubers and Haas cars. Should allow him to make some headway, you would think. He is going to have to get past them pretty quickly. It would have been nice to come out in front of that group. It would have just reduced the cars that we have to get past, but it is what it is. Schumacher, meanwhile, starting to comfortably hold 12th place. Let's see what Daniel can pull off here. He needs to get past these guys quickly. And he does. That's a lovely move. And Sargent
Big crash, watch out.
has crashed. Is that going to bring out any virtual safety cars? I don't know. Yeah, he's lost the back end into the wall. I think he's still going though. Yeah, he is. So, no safety car. That's a lovely move from Daniel as well. Gives him DRS on Valtteri Bottas. And yeah, this is exactly what he needed to do. So we've got Gasly and Stroll up ahead, which isn't too bad. Charles Leclerc, his mechanical fault is
it looks like they're carrying some kind of fault.
not going well. I'm not hearing anything about that. Yeah, if Leclerc is struggling out there, that's going to help Daniel as well. So DRS enabled. This is perfect. Beautiful overtake from Daniel Ricciardo. He is in fine form. The Honey Badger is back, everybody. This is Daniel Ricciardo at his best. And he is making his way through the field. And he's going to try and make this strategy work. It's not one that was recommended. It's not one that the AI have gone for particularly. But it's one that I think can work. As long as you don't get held up by traffic. The extra tyres are going to help you. And again, it's a beautiful move down the inside from Daniel Ricciardo. And he's now finding himself pushing on in this Grand Prix rather beautifully. He's going to catch his teammate Mick Schumacher reasonably soon. Oh, he doesn't want to let Liam Lawson back through. That's a bit of a spanner in the works. Because he doesn't want to be behind Lawson for a second more than he needs to be. And that's why he's trying it round the outside of the chicane. Not many people try the overtake there. Daniel Ricciardo doesn't mind doing that. He's using a bit of ERS as well to just try and break that gap to Lawson. Just about stayed within DRS range, but that should be the end of that battle now. And that's crucial. So, Mick Schumacher and Ocon, their battle is not too far ahead. And Mick's currently 3.5 seconds behind Tsunoda. So, really, Daniel Ricciardo should be passing Tsunoda, I would say fairly soon. As I say, the AI's tyres are struggling at this point, so I think now is the time to
Like a couple laps or sooner than that?
be aggressive for Ricciardo. Now, Mick needs to let his teammate through. That's fine. And you can see people are starting to come into the pits.
How are the tires holding up? Any issues with them?
It's okay, but I start feeling in front of him all.
Copy that.
Yeah, DRS enabled, and there goes Ricciardo, and he has undercut quite a bit of the field there with that. And then we're going to use some ERS with Schumacher to try and help in his battle with Ocon. And Sargent's got a mechanical fault now. Leclerc's in the pits, so that's going to be Ricciardo up into 8th place. He's a good amount ahead of Charles now. Worth being aggressive for another half a lap or so.
Something's not gone right in the pits.
Oh, Schumacher's had an 8.5 second pit stop. That's not good. That's a real shame for him. Now then. Tsunoda just ahead. Albon also out there on very old tyres. Tsunoda into the pits. Now then, we know the guys on hard tyres are probably going to catch Ricciardo on their brand new tyres, but...
And down in the pits. Oh, that's a slow one.
Let's see what we can pull off here.
DRS is currently disabled. DRS is currently disabled.
Okay.
Came out of DRS.
Copy.
It looks like the rest of the field are coming in. Albon's one of them. He's just come into the pit lane. Surely he's going to be behind Daniel Ricciardo here. There comes Albon out of the pits. This is what I'm looking forward to now is we're going to be coming into the pits not too distant future. Lap 41, 10 more laps on these medium tyres, and then we're going to have however long to really push on the medium tyres while everybody's hard tyres are struggling. Now I've got yellow flags out there. Liam Lawson locking up. But it looks like Max Verstappen may well make it 7 out of 7 here. Now Daniel is about to be overtaken by Albon. That was a fairly easy move for Albon there. I'm quite intrigued at how they're quite so fast on these hard tyres. It's pretty impressive pace. Just moving it down to medium again, and well, we've had a Stroll lock up there. Yeah, Ricciardo starting to struggle compared to the rest of them on their hard tyres. This isn't working out the way that we'd hoped. Just about staying in DRS range of Russell, which I think is helpful, helping our lap times a little bit, but sadly we've now dropped out of that range. So Is going to be coming in this lap, so let's give it everything. And this is his second pit stop.
Daniel pit lane.
So in he comes. We'll see an excruciatingly long pit lane this one. And it's a good pit stop, 2.5. And he will come out ahead of Ocon, which is good. That was needed. And we have now been lapped, so it just gives him an extra lap of security on his tyres. We gotta see how quickly we catch up to Yuki Tsunoda here. Once these tyres are up to temp. They're certainly looking pretty good at the moment. And then it's gonna be, can we catch Leclerc for the last point? Max Verstappen's got a mechanical fault now. So he's hoping to win his 7th race in a row here to start the season. Maybe the tyre delta is not quite as big as I thought it would be. Chance on Tsunoda. DRS active, and he is through. Nicely done. So 11.5 seconds behind Charles Leclerc now. Let's see what he can do. 7.5 seconds, 15 laps to go. But he's currently lapping 3 seconds quicker than Charles. Yeah, it's going to be a fairly standard overtake, you would think. Lap time wise, he's lapping a lot quicker than the guys ahead of him. Just a long way off 9th place, unfortunately. Max has got a worsening mechanical issue. Still 10 laps to go here. Now, something that could upset the apple cart, as it were, is a safety car, because we don't have any new soft tyres to put on Daniel Ricciardo's car. It would have to be a new set of hard tyres that we put on. But we're almost within striking distance of Charles Leclerc now. It's obviously 10 laps to go here. We've got plenty of time to get past Charles. And if we get past him quickly... Oh, Sargent is out. Sargent is out of the race.
Oh, no. Seems like a terminal failure to me. Not much that they could do.
And that's only in the first sector, so I don't know if he's going to have to pull over here. Chance to go down the inside, yep. There we go. Ricciardo ahead of Charles Leclerc into the top 10. Now, 15 seconds separate Daniel Ricciardo and George Russell. Now, yeah, so Sargent has retired. He's driven into the pits. So no safety car. Max Verstappen obviously in an interesting position as well. Yeah, I think let's be aggressive with Daniel. Let's try and find something here. And their tyres have gone less than 50%. That's gonna give us an opportunity. We're going 2 seconds a lap quicker here. Verstappen's just past him. It's gonna give him some more time.
Try to save fuel where you can.
Understood.
There's only 4 laps to go. 7 seconds separate us. Gasly's developed a mechanical fault. There's only a couple of laps to go now. It's not going to happen. Ricciardo has found some extra pace from somewhere. Russell, sorry, has found some extra pace from somewhere. Not really sure where from, I'm going to be honest. Max Verstappen is going to start his final lap of the race. It's going to be another points finish for Daniel, which is a great achievement. Schumacher has just got past Ocon for 13th place on track. Which I think he'll be pretty pleased with that. But started in the top 10, obviously. Alonso now with a bad mechanical fault. Don't think it's going to cause any issues at this stage because Max Verstappen wins here
Max Verstappen
in Imola.
over the finish line and today's winner.
And we come across the line in 10th. Decent result in the end.
P10.
And we get another point. You know, we would have certainly taken that
Cheers, guys.
earlier in the season. And Ricciardo continuing his good form. You know, maybe the strategy wasn't quite there for him. Maybe the one stopper was the one to do. But he made it work. He got 10th in the end. I'm not sure we had the pace to compete with Mercedes and Aston Martin today. Anyway,
No more overtake.
Mick Schumacher, meanwhile, well, he's just got enough fuel to finish the race. If he was on the lead lap, he's going to come across the line.
Ocon behind.
13th place. So not too bad for Mick Schumacher, but still hasn't got his first points, and he's only going to have one more opportunity to do
We
that.
see Mick Schumacher now after a challenging race.
And with a 13th place finish, that sadly means there's no points to be claimed.
Well, Max Verstappen can add yet another podium to his already impressive record.
It almost feels like it doesn't need saying after a 7th win, but another stunning performance today.
7 wins in a row for Max Verstappen, and he takes a huge lead in the championship. Alonso finishes second as Red Bull domination continues. Lando Norris finishes third ahead of Hamilton in fourth. Piastri finishes fifth. Then Albon and Hülkenberg for Mercedes. Zhou Guanyu and George Russell for Aston Martin. And Daniel Ricciardo rounds out the top 10. So Max Verstappen leads now by 67 points over Fernando Alonso. Lando Norris is currently in third, 12 points ahead of Oscar Piastri, who's a further 3 points ahead of Leclerc. Hamilton is sixth. Daniel Ricciardo drops out of the top 10 following Zhou Guanyu's very good performance in this race. Okay. On to the fastest pit stops. Daniel Ricciardo there in 8th. That gives us some points. We lose out to Ferrari for 4th place, but overall, looking okay in the pit stop championship for now. So, underfloor manufacturing complete, which is good to see. F2 driver talent, Zach O'Sullivan. It would be nice to get him scouted, but we don't have any scouts at the minute. Nobody seems to know this. Okay, right. One thing I want to have a look at. What is Jack Doohan's... If I was to renew his contract now, how much would it cost if I was to put him into car 2? Put him in there immediately. It would cost a decent amount of money. we could get him for a fairly cheap amount of money. I think we're going to put in this offer. We're going to put the breakout multiplier out. Give him 100 grand there as well. And a race bonus for finishing in the top 10. Of 40 grand. I'm going to ask for that decision. Within 14 days. So I'm sending that proposal over to Jack Doohan to join us, to change his contract over to being a full-time driver with us. He's obviously only 75 rated, but he is going to develop... Oh, well, his development rate's only average, actually. Maybe that's not the best one to go for, then. Oh, I don't know. Right, okay. Let's leave it there for this episode. If you've enjoyed that, give it a big thumbs up down below. Subscribe for plenty more F1 Manager videos. And I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.